video.
The old play and toss works the opposite way too. If you need them to come to you, same concept. Watch. Come here, babies. Oh. Sometimes they learn though, so be careful. Sorry, I forgot the mic, which, you know, without the mic, it will take an already not high quality video and turn it even to a lower quality video. I got everyone out of the bathroom and then they were like, oh, this is the time to go potty.
Except for you.
There's Apple. He's so big. He is 5 pounds. You are a 5 pound, like 14-week-old. You're huge, buddy. Can you say hi? Oh, he's over it. So today I thought it would be fun to do more like a sit down. Let's just have a chit chat. Let's just talk. Cause it's raining outside. Let me show. It's a bit dreary. Yes, my windows are disgusting. I'm sorry, I have no excuse. I am a garbage human. So I figured today we could just sit down. I've asked a few questions on my Instagram. I know Q&A is like everyone's easiest cop out, but whatever. That is what we're doing today. We're gonna hang out with these guys. We're gonna hang out with Gizmo as well. Hi, Katara. And we're just gonna do some Q&As. Woo, woo. Look at these babies. The first question I always get asked is, how did you get into fostering and how did you start a nonprofit? And that is one story in itself. So let's go back to 2018 Mary. 2018 Mary in the fall was finishing up grad school and was starting to write her dissertation, meaning I had to sit down, I had to write, and I went from like, God, it's so wild to think about, like pre-pandemic anything. I was going from like going into the lab every single day and having lots of people around and being able to talk to lots of people.
You are so handsome.
Can we move this even closer? Bring this closer. To being home alone, writing like 12 hours a day. And I was depressed. And I had been watching a lot of Kitten Ladies content and I thought, you know what would be fun? Fostering kittens. So when we were able to buy this house and we moved into this house in like spring of 2018, I kept saying like, so what if I foster kittens? And my person was like, meh, maybe, we'll think about it, we'll talk about it. And then finally in August, I agreed, he agreed to do some fostering. So we brought on 2 kittens. So at that point we just had Dixie, our dog, Mr. Kitty, and 2 foster kittens whose one of them was named Squeak. She now lives with one of our friends. And the other one, I think his name was, I want to say Squawk, but I know that that is wrong. It was Squeaky and Scrappy. Oh, it was Squeaky and Scrappy. What are you guys doing? Why are you sitting in front of me? No one can see you. No one can see you if you're in front of me. So they were our first 2 fosters. And I have to say, I started fostering through our local humane society, which they were phenomenal. They were really amazing. And I have to say the first round of fostering was super easy. By the end of it, they both had homes lined up, so they weren't gonna go to the shelter at all. They were gonna go straight from my home, get spayed, and go to their forever home. It was so easy. I was like, this is easy, this is great. And then, and then everything changed with my second group. I'm gonna steal that because it's very loud, so sorry.
Hello?
She's very touchy about pets. Say hi. This is Sokka. Hey, Sokka. My second round of fosters was Shadow and Foof, who you guys all know from TikTok. They were not sisters, but they were both brought in at the same time, so they were like shoved in a carrier together, which hindsight 2020, now that I know better, although that wasn't my doing, you should never combine kittens from different locations because you don't know what each of them has. So I brought them in. Immediately, once Shadow came here, she started going downhill really, really fast. Like, she was lethargic and she was puking and she had diarrhea. Like, she was just a mess. She was just an absolute mess. And I worked my butt off to get her stable and get her better. I didn't know anything at that point. And I remember specifically her puking up a worm and I was like, oh my God, a worm. Yeah. So they were the first 2 that we got in, and I, one, saved a baby from the brink of death, which was a good feeling. They were the first opportunity we had of kittens who didn't have homes lined up. And I tried. Believe me, I tried very hard to get them adopted before they had to go back to the shelter. And it finally got to the point that they had to go back to the shelter and I just couldn't allow them to spend one night in the shelter. So I was like, that's it. We just have to keep them because no one's gonna want Shadow because she's an all black cat. She's a tuxedo cat. No one wants tuxedo cat. She's gonna sit there. Floof will get adopted immediately and then she'll be lonely. And so we ended up adopting them too. only because I just didn't think that they would get adopted, or they'd get adopted together, or they didn't have homes lined up. That was like the beginning. Hello, what's it, air biscuits? That was like the catalyst for starting Miss Dixie's Kitten Rescue. Because after that, what I would do is once kittens were of age to get adopted, they'd get spayed or neutered, and I would bring them to the shelter during the day, and I'd bring them back home at night so they could hang out with me and sleep in my bed. And I did that until I started Miss Dixie's Kitten Rescue in February of 2019. I remember the first kitten that we ever took in the rescue was named Roger, and he was just a pitiful little 2-week-old who we got healthy and got him adopted. But that was the first thing. I went from just fostering for the shelter, and then the main catalyst for me starting my own rescue was not that I was spending my own money on vet bills, which I was, because there were some cases where I was like, this kitten is either not getting the proper attention, or I'm just worried, I would like a second opinion, and I would bring them to my vet, and of course I paid for that. But it was mainly because I couldn't control where the kittens got adopted to, so I didn't get to pick the homes, which I did not like. I have control issues, and I like being able to control where they go. It makes me feel good. And then the second thing was I just didn't want them spending any time in the shelter. These guys goes directly from my home to their forever home. They never have to sleep in a cage, and that just makes me so happy. Which is why I did it the way that I did it. Which is why I have things set up the way that I have them set up. So anyway, that's how I got into fostering, and that's how I started the rescue. Well, I guess that's how I got into fostering, and that's why I started the rescue. It's not a how. How I started the rescue is a little bit more in depth, and it's got legalities that I'm probably not really, I can't really speak on, but I can give you just like my rundown in a different video. So that was like one of the main questions I get asked. You guys asked a lot of questions on Instagram, so we'll get there. Katara's got a lot of energy. You guys asked a lot of questions on Instagram, so there's no way that I'm going to be able to answer all of them. So we're gonna pick a few, and I'll try to answer the other ones on my Instagram, so you'll probably see that later today that I'm recording. Okie pokey. Pennsylvania, here's our baby boy. Misty_Alyssa asks, best way to get fleas off kittens. So that can be a complicated answer. That depends on their age. There's some other factors like to consider, like their health status. If they are declining rapidly, the last thing you want to do is like give them a bath, which is what I'll explain here in a second. When they're declining rapidly, either get them in the hands of an experienced rescuer or foster home, or get them to the vet ASAP. I recommend getting them to the vet SAAP, whatever that means. But yeah, get them as soon as possible. So with the fleas, there are two main things that I use when a kitten comes in. The first thing you can give is this thing called Capstar. Oh, buddy. Capstar is not a preventative like you've heard me talk about Revolution or even Advantage Plus or Advantage 2. It is not a preventative, but what it does is it will kill all the adult fleas, but it will leave like the eggs and larvae. So it will kill all of the currently biting fleas, so that will relieve some itch, but you will need to do step number 2 in order to fully get rid of the fleas. So give them the Capstar, and then I give them a bath as long as their health is okay. Kitten Lady has some wonderful videos on how to give a kitten a bath with Dawn soap. I will link those below. The main thing that I learned with the Dawn bath is you need to lather. Like you think you've lathered enough, you didn't. The reason that it kills the fleas is fleas have an exoskeleton, a tough exterior. They're tough. They're like, I'm a flea, I'm tough. So what you do is the soap will actually break down that tough exterior, and that's what causes them to die. And the way that it breaks it down is by bubbles and lathering. So lather that kitten. Kill those fleas. You had fleas, you had a lot of them. And then once they have been bathed, washed, and they're completely dry, and I usually wait 24 hours, I give them a preventative, so that way if I missed anything, they will also die. That's the best way that I recommend. Of course, every case is different, every kitten is different. Hi, Boo Boo Bear. She's gonna be a shoulder cat, and it's just so exciting. No, that's not for you. We'll have to hide it. Okay, the next one is just a cute question. Nicole Ray Insta asks, can we be best friends? Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for your support. Listen, here's my toxic trait. My toxic trait is I'm a horrible friend. Not because I don't love and appreciate my friends and I wouldn't do anything for my friends and you know, I'm not there for my friends. It's just that if I don't see you in front of me on a regular basis, like every day or once a week, I forget you exist. So maybe we could be best friends, but only if you came to my house once a week and reminded me that you existed. Otherwise, can't do anything. Another question from Bread Tingle. Is it possible to earn money while fostering, like as a job? Fostering itself, no. Most organizations, I don't know of any organizations that pay their fosters to foster. It's really just you're donating your time and your space in your home for those animals. But there are people like myself who can make a little bit of an income through things like YouTube or TikTok, Creator Fund. All the donations that you guys send in all go towards the kittens, so don't ever think if you donate like you're donating to me, you're donating to you. You're donating to Kataras. But yeah, if you see anyone who can do rescuing full time, it's usually because they've pulled income elsewhere, whether that's YouTube, whether that's books, whether that's speaking events. There's many ways that you can do it, but they likely don't get paid money to foster. Okay, I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name. Sincerely, I apologize. Freya Stofgard. Can I foster with a normal work schedule? Absolutely. Absolutely. You may just need to change what type of kittens or dogs or whatever you want to foster that you could foster. Meaning, like, if you work a regular job and your job doesn't allow you to bring animals into the office, you probably can't do things like bottle babies. But if you had kitties like Appa here who were sick and who just needed antibiotics twice a day, and then you could play with them in the evenings, that's absolutely perfect. We need all kinds of foster homes. Look at this sweet boy. Kira McMillan asks, curious about your significant other, like how you met and how they feel about rescue. Well, isn't this the tea? Where are you guys? We met in 2011 in organic chemistry lab in college. What are you doing? And he moved down here with me for me to pursue my grad school and him to have a job. And he was the one that encouraged me to go and do rescue full time. So he, I think, would appreciate if I had better boundaries, which I'm gonna work on this year. Gonna work on boundaries. Boundaries are important. And I think that's the main thing he would wish, is if I just had a little bit better boundaries that I set. But he does love them. He loves them. I do most of the work, but if I need help, and I'll ask, he'll pitch in. He does have a real full-time job outside of here, so it's mostly just me home. Look at this boy. Oh. Hi. No. Okay, Ashlyn36354 asked what happened to Plum's tail. Oh, Plum Bum. When Plum was really little, she was hit by a car. She was brought into the vet's office. A couple of Good Samaritans brought her in and she tested positive for FIV. The vet that they brought her into is a little bit old school and thought, he was like, oh, well, FIV, we might as well just euthanize her. And all the techs at the vet's office were like, don't euthanize that cat. She's perfect. Because she is perfect, because she's Plum. Okay. So they worked to get her healthy. She had a few broken bones. She had to have her tail amputated because she was hit by the car. It's just taken a long time to heal. It scabbed over, the scab came off, it was exposed. It's just been a bit of a process. But essentially, she had to have it amputated because she was hit by a car. And thankfully the vet techs advocated for her life, otherwise she wouldn't be here today. We happily took her on. She's so cute. She's the best girl. The best girl. Hi, Aang. You're very cute, buddy. Mama. Can we see your eye? It looks so good, Momo. Anyway, that was a lot of questions and a lot of answers. I was gonna do a little TNR vlog today, but because it's raining, we can't go out and do TNR. So this is what you got. I'm sorry. Anyway, so I love you and I will see you next time. And if you haven't grabbed your merch, do so soon, because I'm gonna be pulling the merch in the first week of January, probably by the end of the week of January. Anyway, I love you. I appreciate you. And I will be dropping YouTube videos every Tuesday. Dropping? Who am I? I will be publishing YouTube videos every Tuesday and every Friday. Unless, of course, I'm on a trip. Then maybe things will change, but that doesn't matter. We don't need semantics right now. Anyway, goodbye! He hates it.